Good morning and welcome to Second Cumber's Thought for the Week. As we now move into summer, so often our thoughts turn to the planning of our summer holidays, especially with the imminent school break approaching and hopefully looking forward to sunnier and warmer days ahead. Towards the end of May, I was fortunate to take a break with a few friends by taking a motorcycle trip to the Scottish Highlands. And having based ourselves in the town of Callander in the Trossachs region, each day saw us complete a series of 200-mile loops from our accommodation. But certainly for the motorcyclist, the reason we go by motorcycle is to enjoy the mechanics of the riding experience, and as such that connection of movement with the rhythm of the road. And also it provides a great sense of freedom to enjoy creation's great outdoors, especially as was our case against the grandeur backdrop of the Scottish Highlands. One of the great attractions of travel for me is the experience of trying different types of foods that one might not be able to experience regularly at home. As for Scotland, haggis, neeps and tatties have all been tried before, as has Finnan Haddie, Coolan Skink, Keggery and Scottish Tablet, a version of our own fudge. But one delicacy that so far has escaped me was a genuine Arbroath smoky. And so to fulfill this ambition, a trip to Arbroath Harbour it was. Now what is an Arbroath smoky? The Arbroath smoky comprises of the haddock fish, smoked over a hardwood fire. The smoky is produced by tying the tail end of two salt-dried haddock together, which are then hung over supporting sticks. And these sticks of haddock are then placed over the smoking pit, and then with the true art of the smoker, cooked until the golden copper tones of a true Arbroath smoky are achieved. The result is a fully cooked and ready-to-eat smoked fish. And fairly recently, under European law, the Arbroath smoky can only be called as such if it is produced in the traditional manner and within a 5-mile radius of the town of Arbroath. So what is it like? Well, it has a pronounced smoke aroma, as well as a smoked flavour, almost sweet with a bit of salt. The outside of the fish is dry, whilst the flesh inside is cream-coloured, moist and flaky. Now, I must say, I was not disappointed. It was delicious, if you like that sort of thing. However, I don't think any of my companions were really so keen. And of course, this smoking process is one of the oldest ways of preserving food, and was of great importance before the age of refrigeration. And on that day of the purchase, I was gratified that the young man behind the counter took the time to explain the preserving process as to the making of a genuine smoky. And you know, as human beings, we are not that good at preservation as much as we would like to try. The aging process takes over eventually, just as any untreated fish would quickly decay and rot. Nor are we spiritually self-sustaining, for we were never designed to live as if we are. Indeed, the doctrine of creation confronts us with the reality that we were neither physically nor spiritually self-sustaining. We were created to be dependent. And rather than dependency being a sign of weakness, if we are dependent on the right thing, this in many ways is a universal indicator as to our humanity. Humans are dependent beings. Yet, we do not like to be dependent, do we? But this is the legacy of our fallenness. And we will do everything we can, either conceptually or functionally, to repudiate any doctrine of human dependency. And as such, we can easily fall into, well, two attractive yet two very dangerous lies. And the first of these lies is as the tongue of the serpent in the Garden of Eden. The first lie is a lie of autonomy, the lie which tells me that I am an independent human being with the right to invest my life however I choose. And the second lie is a lie of self-sufficiency, which declares I have everything I need within myself to be as I deem what I am supposed to be. And given its background, then naturally we don't want to live for God, but rather only to live to ourselves. And as such, we are so easily seduced. Yet gratefully, if our relationship is with Christ, God has promised to sustain us by his grace. He has promised us the sustaining and preserving grace of forgiveness. He has promised us the sustaining grace of enablement, giving us the strength to do what he calls us to do. He has promised us the sustaining and preserving grace of protection, the sustaining grace of wisdom, protecting us from our own foolishness. He has promised us the sustaining grace of perseverance, keeping us until the final enemy has been defeated, and also the preserving grace of eternity, giving us the hope of a day when the struggle will be over. Perhaps this morning, as we consider the preserving process of the Arbroath Smokehouse, but yet us consider how much more we need the refining fire of the Holy Spirit to be at work in our hearts and in our lives. For it must be a willing heart that causes us to seek the grace that Christ has promised. And when we turn from our own way and recognize our inability to preserve ourselves, well, then we can begin to seek the full range of the preserving and the sustaining resources that God has promised through and in his precious Son. And so, folks, please enjoy your summer break wherever you may go. But may we each enjoy the sweet aroma of our communion with Christ as we go. Goodbye from me for now. God bless.